on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 8:37 now as we plow ahead through this Friday morning to finish up your work week and get you into the weekend. Chris Plant is going to join us in just about 30 minutes as he takes over. It's Larry O'Connor with the effervescent and delightful Patrice Onwuka.
Oh, how kind. Thank you, Larry, and happy Friday to everybody.
We played this for you yesterday. This happened earlier in the week at George Washington University.
How much is APAC paying you? How much is APAC paying you? You race traitor? Race traitor? Yeah. So, Uncle Tom?
That is a pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic protester, let's call them, over at George Washington University, who was heckling Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida, who, and Congressman Donalds, I got to tell you, when he called you an Uncle Tom, and you just turned your head through your aviators, and you just stared him down, what was going through your mind? Because it seemed like you were talking yourself off the ledge there from actually doing what you would have done if that happened maybe in a saloon or something down in Florida.
Yeah, it was really about keeping calm, even though you had this person who you don't know, who doesn't know you, just, say things to you. I mean, look, in politics, people are always going to try to get under your skin, so you just got to learn to have Kevlar skin and let that stuff bounce off. So so then I looked at this guy, and I was like, man, this guy is old. What's he doing here? And I just I left it at that.
That's right. If I remember right, your comment was, you look pretty old to be a student, and then you just turned back to the reporters you're going to do. Well, what did you see at George Washington University? And after seeing the scenes from UCLA and Columbia and other colleges, and certainly University of Florida in your state, why is it that D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is allowing this to continue to fester?
Well, I mean, what you saw was you have a lot of paid agitators. We met with the president of GW and her administration team, her top three officials, and they were saying that the students are actually not the people in the encampment, that about 90% of them were outside agitators, adults, people who were frankly being paid to be there, and they were organized. They set it up where all of the equipment and material they were using to keep the encampment going, food and other supplies, they put that stuff on the public street, not on campus property. So then they would leave the encampment on campus property. They requested that Muriel Bowser bring in a Metropolitan Police Department to clear the encampment, and Muriel Bowser's position was, well, she was concerned about the optics of that. You're not dealing with students. You're dealing with paid people. They are trespassing. The mayor has a responsibility to assist the people, whether it's GW or anybody else in Washington, D.C., and she's failed them.
She absolutely is, and Representative Donalds, what a difference from a few years ago during the BLM protests, where she was more than willing to go out there and support what was devastating to a lot of downtown DC, which was destruction, rioting, breaking windows. I was fearful just to drive down into DC because of that kind of acquiescence to these riots, and here you go again. But just to shift gears a little bit, just talking though about Congress's role here. I know that the House passed a bill kind of condemning anti-Semitism. Is there a way to hold these universities' feet to the fire a little bit more in how they're treating this kind of behavior on their campuses?
Well, the only real way is that you have to basically push the Department of Education under Joe Biden to defund these universities if they allow the civil rights of students to be violated. This is something that was written in the 1964 Civil Rights Act. They call it Title VI. And look, at the end of the day, if students if universities who do get federal money don't protect the civil rights of these institutions of the students, then why is the government funding that?
Yes.
Good question. Good question. And I would argue that it's not just, hey, we're not going to fund you if you allow this to happen. I think at this point, universities have to proactively encourage diversity on their campus. They need to show that they are, in fact, recruiting new professors who don't share an idea. It's like the faculty, or it's like the lunch break room at NPR over there at most of these college faculties. And you have the power of the purse. You can help push these things. Is there stomach with your colleagues to actually push this issue?
We're going to find out. I know in my office, we're already looking at drafting the resolution that will call for the administration to do it. We'll see who supports that and who does not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Yeah. What the student said is, if you have students whose civil rights are being violated, we should not be funding those institutions. It's just that simple.
Representative Byron Donalds of Florida is our guest. And, just real fast, your colleague, and listen, I know you get along with so many people on Capitol Hill, and actually even better, you don't get along with all the people that I don't want you getting along with. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has said that she's going to move forward next week with this motion to vacate this chair. You were sort of in the middle of the original fight over who would have the gavel. Do you think this is the right time to call the question on Speaker Johnson?
No, I don't. I don't support it. And I mean, look, there's been things that Speaker Johnson and I have disagreed on, different tactical ways that we should, leverage the ability of the House to accomplish good policy for the American people, and for the United States abroad. But I think doing this right now, all we're really going to be doing is playing further into the hands of the Democrats, and I just don't agree with that. Now, that does not mean that Speaker Johnson gets a pass here. I think that his office and his team, they have to rethink some of their tactics and their strategies in order to get a much better outcome in a lot of these bills that are going to the House floor.
All right. So really quickly, sir, do you think you're on the short list to be President Trump's vice president?
I don't know. I mean, look, that's what everybody says, but, that's up to President Trump. I know he's in New York dealing with this crazy trial that just, it's pure politics. I mean, let me back up. It demonstrates again the fact that the Democrats don't care about our democracy or our institutions. They just care about power and their agenda. Because not even the students, the agitators who were arrested at Columbia, Alvin Bragg released them the next day and said he wasn't going to press charges. Meanwhile, they're going after Donald Trump on some bookkeeping thing, which isn't even a felony, which isn't even a crime, because the FEC looked at this and said there's nothing to see here. Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't show you the double standard, the two-tiered system of justice, and the fact that the Democrat Party has lost their ever-loving mind and Americans are suffering in the process, I don't know what is. Short list, we'll see.
Well, you made a good pitch just now for
I think so, yeah. Biden and the Democrats and the media, they say Florida's back in play here because of the new law protecting the unborn. You going to let that happen, Congressman Donalds? You going to let Florida go back to the Democrats?
No, that's not going to happen. I mean, look, the Democrats obviously say a lot of things. Obviously, none of them are ever true. Florida's a red state. That's where it's going to stay, because people have come to our state, especially, during COVID and post-COVID. They came to our state looking for the best opportunity possible. They found that in Florida. We're the best state in the country, and we're not looking back.
Byron Donalds, Congressman, Florida. Thanks, sir, for joining us. Always a great conversation. Thank you, sir.
All right, take it easy, guys.
8:45 WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the fives with Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Traffic is brought to you by Jiffy Lube.